Okay, sorry we're running a little bit late, guys. Too busy laughing and chatting over here. Okay, so this afternoon you're very privileged to have Sue Welfare and Darren O'Sullivan and John Lawrence here. And they're all three of them are going to give you a brief kind of rundown of who they are and what they do. And then I'm going to interrogate them all and you guys are going to help me. So Sue, would you like to?
Not really, no. Also, I'm slightly at a disadvantage here, I feel, because these guys, being sensible and well organised, have managed. One's got, Darren here has got an essay. God. This man has got a fantastic essay because he said that he would waffle. I think I just am. And John on the end has also got notes. But other than that, right, my name's Sue Welfare. And I've written professionally for something around 22 years. I began my career with a big mainstream publisher, having won a competition. I wrote the first 150 words of a novel for Mail on Sunday, and I was picked up as a result by Faye Weldon, of all people, who said to me, I think you can write, I think you should have an agent, I think you know, let me help you get an agent. And I thought that was a dream come true. I didn't think it would happen, but she asked me a few details, and an agent indeed did ring me. And she said to me, "So what do you want to write then?" And I went, "Not got a clue. I don't know what I want to write." The opportunity, the door that opened, was terrifying. I've always loved thrillers and romantic stuff, but mostly thrillers and murder mysteries. And she said, "Go away and write me something." And so I wrote a murder that was set in Liz Beach. And at the time I'd also started to write erotic fiction. And the story I wrote was about somebody who wrote erotic fiction, because you know they say write what you know. And in the book, the woman the main character was murdered, and which is all a bit of a hoo-ha, and at that point Penguin wanted exclusive rights to have a look at it, and my agent was absolutely right, and she said they want 3 weeks to have a look at it, and they sent it off, and I waited and waited, and then she said to me, "Can you come down to London, we need to discuss this?" And I thought, what we're going to discuss, because if it was good news I felt that she'd tell me over the phone. So I got down there and she said, "Well, there's a bit of a problem with your book." And I said, "Oh, what's that?" And she said, "It's funny." And I was livid. I thought I'd written a hard-edged murder mystery. And she said, no, it's funny. And she said, in those days, back in the good old days, back in Victorian times, W.H. Smiths, who were the tail that wagged the dog, hadn't got a shelf that was designed for comedy murder. And they said, you're going to have to go up against people like Minette Walters and P.D. James. And there's more gore and less laughs in there. So they then suggested that I went back and had another go at it, and I did, but I found it really difficult. And so our book went out and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, and then HarperCollins invited me down, got me drunk, which is something which takes quite some doing because I don't normally drink. And they said, "We love your characters, we really like your characterisation, we love your dialogue, can you take the murder out?" And me, several sheets to the wind, and very keen to get a publishing contract, said, "Oh, no problem." So I'm sobering up on the train on the way home. The book's 120,000 words long, 60,000 sets the murder up, 60,000 solving it. So it's a bit of a shock. But they were right. The characters were great, and the woman who were great to work with, and the woman who I had so brutally murdered in the first version was much more fun while she was alive. So that was the beginning of it, really. I've subsequently published something in the region of probably, I don't know, like 32 books, something like that. The vast majority of those were as Sue Welfare, Kate Lawson or Gemma Fox, all by HarperCollins. I've also written 14 erotic titles, the names I'm not going to tell you. And I've written those for Virgin Black Lace, the naughty imprint for ladies, and also for Headline, an imprint called Liaison. And then publishing changed. I'm a mid-lister, I'm not somebody famous, I'm not somebody who commands huge advances. And up until the big change in publishing, I was earning a living. I won't say I was earning a huge living, but I was earning a living writing. And the advances went down and down and down. And then about 3 or 4 years ago, having come to the end of a 3-book contract, my agent went back to negotiate my next contract. And the money was ridiculous. The money was tiny compared to what I'd earned. Each time I got a book contract, it seemed to be half. It was ridiculous. Although I was still selling really well and selling good numbers. And my agent said, I don't think you can take this deal. I really don't think you can take it. Because it's preposterous. You know, they know you can work, they know you sell, they know your books go. But, so we looked at it, and it was at that point I decided to go independent because it gave me more opportunity to make money for myself. It also gave me considerably more control. When I worked for HarperCollins, they would do things like I'd write a book that I thought worked really, really well. They'd take it to the marketing meeting and the design meeting, and I got a cover that came back, and there was champagne and strawberries all over the cover. And I said to my editor, I haven't got any champagne and strawberries anywhere in the book. And she said, we'd like you to write that in. Because we really like this cover. And I just thought, well, I won't tell you what I thought because I don't want to be recorded, really. I thought it was preposterous. So I went on my own. I published a book called Cooking Up a Storm as a first romantic comedy. And as a result of that, I got involved with a group. I was invited to join a group of similarly minded independent authors. And we formed a cooperative. Sadly, it's invitation only, and I wasn't the person who did the inviting. And they count as a publisher, and so we can negotiate deals with HarperCollins, not with HarperCollins, with Amazon and other distribution networks, because we count as a publishing company. But what it has allowed me to do, finally, is to not have peculiar things on my cover I don't want. And actually, we're all completely independent. We do our own finances, we do our own editing, all that kind of stuff. But we get together to sell. And for the first time last year, after 22 years of waiting, I finally published a thriller that's not at all funny. And my second one is now finished and waiting to go to editorial. Oh, that was me. I do apologise. So if I was going to give you one piece of advice as an independent author, if you're going to go the independent route, and that is the jobs that you can't do, don't do them in a half-assed way because you can't do them. Pay somebody or find somebody who can do them for you. I can't and don't want to upload my stuff to Amazon. I find it really difficult. I'm not going to put technical reasons. So I pay somebody to do it. I am unable to design a cover because I haven't got that skill. So I pay somebody to do it. But most of all, when you've finished your work of fiction, the thing that you love, get it properly edited. I think the downside of indie publishing is that so many books go out without a proper edit. And there are loads of people around, freelancers, who'll be only too happy to edit it for you. And I get mine edited 3 times. It goes through structural edit, where somebody says to me, his eyes have changed colour, and you can't put that there because you've already told them that 3 pages earlier. I then get it copy edited, it goes all the way through so that somebody looks at how it's spelled, whether the sentences hang together, and then I put it on a 3rd edit where somebody goes through and snags all the stuff that the other 2 people have missed. That turns your indie publication, your self-published book, into something that people can engage with, can enjoy and can read. I was talking to the gentleman at the end whose name is Darren, not John, out there. I've just been sent a book that should really fly off the shelves. So the central premise is a really good idea. But the woman who's published it has not had it edited. So the sentence structure's wrong, there are grammatical errors, she changes tense, it's spelt badly. Now in a perfect world, you'd like to think that the reader will be so captivated by your brilliant piece of fiction that they won't notice. But that's totally wrong, that's the first thing they will notice. If there are 2 spelling mistakes on the first page, you're not going to read any further because you think this is written by an amateur. And a good story will not carry bad structure or bad spelling or the layout being wrong. And those things can be easily sorted out. Somebody cannot give you your brilliant and superb ideas. They cannot give you your passion for writing. But what they can give you is they can give you a story that's beautifully edited, fantastically written, corrected, and that's what you really want if you're going to break into indie publishing. You stick with your passion about writing, you enjoy your storytelling, and then if you can't do it, and I would say that even the best writer can't do it, ship it out to somebody to get it properly edited, and it will lift your book head and shoulders above the other stuff. And that's about me. I think we've done 10 minutes, isn't that it?